All right, we are right at 12 o'clock. I'll go ahead and get started. So we will probably get out of here early here today, I hope. And as other people join, if possible, I'll go ahead and get them admitted into the room, and we'll have them introduce themselves naturally. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. We'll start off with the introductions, and I'll just call on you to do the introductions. And if you have the agenda sitting there in front of you, the one of the two questions to answer, thanks for tagging me in the post there, Kevy, is what is your favorite place of all places you have ever traveled? And you can answer both if you want. What TV show or movie should the rest of us watch this weekend? So one of those two questions right there. So we'll start with Dodd.
Hello, Dodd McDermott. I'm a deputy fire marshal with Missoula Rural Fire. And I don't watch TV or movies. Hello? What?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I don't watch TV, and I haven't watched any movies lately. So I want to say my favorite place of all the places I traveled is a tough one because I've traveled a lot of places. But recently, I guess last summer, I went to Sturgis a couple weeks before the big rally there and got to ride my motorcycle in some really nice places. So that would be a place that was really fun.
Very nice. Very nice. Awesome. Heidi.
My name's Heidi Starrett. I'm with Missoula Broadcasting. We're a local radio group. We have 4 radio stations: Trail 103.3, U1045, Jack FM 105.9, and ESPN 102.9. And I have to apologize to the group. It's been quite some time since I've been here. Like everyone else, our daily jobs take twice as long to get through. So basically it takes twice as long to get half as much done. So we also moved our offices during COVID. So here we are. I would say traveling is really big for me. I try to take a big trip every year. And so my last trip was 2019, which was France and Portugal, which I enjoyed quite a bit. But I would give anything to be in Italy right now, strolling the countryside, drinking wine.
Very nice. That's great. And before we get on to the next question here, let's see. Reagan asks, where do we check in on Facebook? If you go to your Facebook page and then you create a post and then scroll, you'll see check-in there. And then you can search for either like DUI Task Force or Buckle Up Montana, or maybe even Drive Safe Missoula. I checked in directly on the Drive Safe Missoula page. Then you should be able to collect or select that, and you should be able to get it. So Heidi, did you have a movie or TV that the show that the rest of us should watch this weekend?
I'm kind of a PBS geek.
Oh yeah.
All Creatures Great and Small is a really fantastic series, so I highly recommend it.
Oh, and that got an immediate thumbs up from Leah there. So All Creatures Great and Small. I'm writing this down. All right. Leah, you're next.
What are the questions?
The questions are, and you can feel free to answer one or both. What is your favorite place of all the places you have ever traveled to? And what TV show or movie should the rest of us watch this weekend?
Okay. Hi, I'm Leah Fitch-Brody. I'm with the Missoula City County Health Department, Substance Use Disorder Prevention. And I think it's a tie between Malawi. I went there when I was doing Peace Corps, and it's just like the most, like the nicest people, and just like most of the country like is by a lake, because big lake there. just really relaxing. And then also St. John, we went there in the Caribbean. We went there for our honeymoon last year, and that was amazing as well. And both warm places, which I wish I was at.
Yes.
And then to watch, I have been watching, and I don't know if you've heard of the Peacock Network, but it's fairly new. I think it's related to NBC. And they have something called Escape to the Chateau. And there's this couple that they're British, but they moved to France, and then they update this big castle-like chateau and set it up for their house and for weddings and stuff. And it's really, really fun. So.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. Perfect. Thanks. Kevy.
I'm Kevy Berger. I'm the Operations and Programs Manager at the Foundation for Community Health, as well as Safe Kids Missoula, the co-coordinator there. And let's see, favorite places you've traveled. We have traveled all over the place. We also try to take a big trip every year. Darn COVID last year, didn't get to go. So this year I will be going to Ohio and going to Cedar Point, the biggest roller coasters. Yes, I'm obsessed with them. And to, where else do we go? We're going to St. Lucia this year. So both of those had to roll over from last year. But I would say the favorite spot, other than Maui, when we went for our honeymoon years and years ago, I would say probably Barbados is my favorite. It's just amazing. The people are so kind, and it's just so warm, and I would go back there in a heartbeat. As far as TV shows or movies that you should watch this weekend, I kind of run the gamut of things I like. So I think you should either watch Call the Midwife if you are into kind of that medical kind of, it's more about the nuns from way across the world, and it goes season by season and kind of shows how they did home visits and different things like that. I love that, but I'm also really attached to Baby Yoda, so The Mandalorian.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. Thanks for sharing. Kira.
Hi, I am Kira Huck, the Executive Director here at Foundation for Community Health and Safe Kids Montana State Office Director. It's kind of tough. I've genuinely enjoyed everywhere I've traveled, but I think like Heidi, I might also have to go with Italy. I love Montana so dearly, and I don't think you could ever get me to move, but I think that's like the one place where I would maybe actually consider if I got the chance to go. I think I would do Italy. And then I don't often watch a lot of new movies or TV shows. I tend to watch like the same things over and over. But like right now I've been watching a lot of the National Geographic documentaries on Disney Plus, and one that I've watched a couple of times is, I think it's called Free Solo. It's fascinating. I'm not a climber, but it just is crazy to me that someone would scale a mountain without any sort
of... Great. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Samantha.
Hi, my name is Samantha Arcand, and I am with Road Court. I would say the favorite place I visited was Africa on my honeymoon last year, and this weekend I am going to watch the Britney Spears documentary.
Oh yeah, are you there?
Wonderful. Awesome. That's great. Let's see. Judge Holloway.
Hey. So I'm Landy Holloway, one of the justices of the peace here in Missoula County. Favorite place I'd like to go back to is Mexico, because the street vendors are amazing, and the food and the culture. And the other show I'd like to continue watching is called Kim's Convenience. It's on Netflix. It's about a Korean convenience store that's about their family dynamics. It's good, clean humor, and That's about it. And those of you who have watched it, you'll understand. See you.
Awesome. That sounds great. Yeah, I watch a guy on YouTube that travels around and tries different street vendor foods from all over the world. And I watched his entire series in Mexico, and it was just mouth-watering. I gained like 6 pounds just watching that show because I was hungry. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing. Evan.
Citizen advocate for DUI task force. My day job doesn't have much to do with this work. Favorite place is a really easy one for me. South Island in New Zealand, by far the best place I've been. I've traveled all over the world. It's amazing. The combination of natural beauty and culture and the nicest people in the world there. Love it. Definitely want to go back. And I don't know. I can't think of any TV shows or movies right now. Sorry. I'll pass on that one.
No, that's good. That's good. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Sergeant Fow.
I'm Paul Fow with the Montana Highway Patrol. I'm a sergeant here in Missoula. I would say right now with this weather, anywhere nice and warm. I've been to Costa Rica, so I'll say Costa Rica. And as far as movies, I tend to watch some of the same stuff over. A fun, kind of a fun one on Netflix is, it's been around a while. It's called Murder Mystery with Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler.
All right, I might have to check that one out. Awesome. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Reagan.
I'm Reagan Meekum. I'm the Frenchtown Community Coalition Coordinator, and I think a TV show that people should watch this weekend and every day is Bob's Burgers because it makes me happy. There's really no other reason aside from that. My most favorite place I've ever visited is probably Alaska. We've gone to Anchorage 3 times, so we visited areas surrounding there, and I love it. I love the mountains. It's just like Montana, but bigger, I guess.
I love it. Awesome. Yeah, I used to live in Anchorage for many years ago. It was a great place. Maureen.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marie Jensen. I'm a nurse at St. Patrick's Hospital. I work for Trauma Services as their clinical outreach educator and injury prevention person. I'm kind of sad when it comes to travel. I've only been in the United States. I've had two passports that I've never gotten a stamp in, which is really sad. If I wanted to go somewhere, I would definitely go to Australia. Other than that, my favorite place here is, I showed it earlier, is the Yellowstone Teton area. I love that place. And me and my husband just finished watching Godless, which was actually really good, if anybody ever wants to watch something like that.
All right, wonderful. Well, thanks for sharing that information. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Shannon.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shannon Sproul. I'm the project director for Missoula Substance Abuse Connect. I agree with Marie in terms of there's so many amazing and beautiful places in the United States, but if we were talking outside of the US, I've only been to the Virgin Islands and Ireland, and both of them I would go back in a heartbeat. It's been around for a while, but Broadchurch on Netflix was a really good series, a very character driven and very interesting show. There you go.
Excellent. And Reagan gave a thumbs up on that one. Perfect. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Virginia.
Hello, everybody. I would say my favorite TV program is probably The Good Doctor. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I love the characters on that show. I think I've lived a number of places, and of course you always like the places that you've lived. I got married, met my husband in Kitzbühel, Austria, and both of my sons have gone back there on their own to see it, which is a fabulous old medieval ski town. And then we lived in Lima, Peru for 9 years. And so I love Peru. It has everything from mountains, culture, fabulous history, jungles, beaches. So if you want to have all kinds of different places to go in one country, Peru is it.
Oh, that's amazing. Are you writing a book? Like, please, a life documentary on your life? That would be wonderful.
I've been very lucky.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for being here as always. Appreciate it. Jenny Ross.
Hello, I'm Jenny Ross. I'm a coordinator for Community Medical Center, and currently right now with my family, I've been watching the TV episode on Netflix, the series Heartland. They got me into it, and I've really liked it. So it's just about horses and stuff. So I like that. And as far as traveling, I have traveled all over the place. So I think I've been on lots of cruises, and I think the most favorite place I went was Belize, and I ziplined, and then I went tubing in caves, and I think that was just super fun. But really anywhere nice and warm and sunny is where I want to be. Why I live in Montana, I often wonder, because I don't want the snow. You can stay in the mountains, just not in the valley.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. So, good deal. Well, now I have some things to watch this weekend, and I'm definitely envious of all the places that you have all traveled to. That's amazing. I've been as far as Spokane in one direction, and I think Clinton in the other direction, and that's it. So, yeah, I don't have any place like you guys are just amazing. Absolutely, I love it. So, thanks so much for sharing. I appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and hop on to the rest of the agenda here. So, quick question for you, and I ask all of you that are here, but I can't ask the people that aren't here that we haven't seen in a while, other than picking up the phone and giving them a call. Is this meeting date and time working for everybody? I'm assuming it's a thumbs up from all of you that are here. Yes? Okay. Is there anything that would work better? You guys are all saying no. Okay.
Steve, I would just say I know there's a lot of information to cover here. And for me, it's just, as I mentioned, we've just been crazy. Everybody is right now. But an hour and a half is a big chunk of time. But I don't know if that can be pared down.
Yeah, and I think lately we've actually been going through in an hour. So even though I've still been putting the hour and a half on there, we've been getting out of here pretty early, and we'll probably do the same today. So that's something that we'll consider, and then yeah.
Well, and I just wonder if that's changed on the invite, that might prompt people to say, oh, it's just an hour, and hit the yes button.
That makes sense. Okay, perfect. That's good thing to consider there. Any other meeting ideas outside of Zoom that somebody might have?
You could take me to lunch and we could socially distance, and then we could hop onto Zoom together.
Very good. That works. Is anybody doing any other sort of meetings outside of Zoom that have been working? No? Okay. we'll probably stick with this then for a while.
Steve,
yeah.
Sorry, I'm having commuter. I can't find the right button to push half the time.
No, you're good.
We've been using Teams meetings here, and they seem to be working pretty good too. So, but Zoom works just as well.
Okay. Yeah, and I know we use Teams throughout the health department oftentimes as well. I think I like Zoom just a little bit better. There's probably others that prefer Teams over Zoom, but okay. Just always want to double check and see. I just got a really interesting email yesterday about the possibility of doing video newsletters, which I would have always called a vlog, which could be something that we might be able to do if I just have updates to give everybody. And it's not necessarily where I'm looking to get, feedback or ask a lot of questions for. That might be something I could put something together really quickly, send out to everybody, and just give you guys an update. You can watch it, not watch it, whatever, and then and call it good. So that might be something that's coming. We have a discussion set up tomorrow to learn a little bit more about what the plan for that might be. So, okay. But until then, until you hear anything else, we'll probably continue with this date and time on Zoom, if that works. I think it works for the majority of people. So I'll give you guys a little bit of updates here on Buckle Up Montana and some of the things that's been happening. So we've had a few bills in the legislature, and Kira talked a little bit about this morning, and feel free to hop in if I'm missing something here. But House Bill 109, which was related to the primary seatbelt law, was tabled. Had a little bit of discussion in one of the committees. They kind of made fun of the fact that it was there again, and they were like, it just wouldn't be a legislative session without hearing this. And then it was like, let's just throw that away and not talk about it anymore. So we kind of expected that was going to be tabled, which it was. House Bill 256, and I'm just looking at the agenda here. They cleaned up a little bit of language related to child passenger safety laws. And I heard that the third reading is in the House, and the first reading, or the third reading, has already passed the House, first reading in the Senate, and it has been referred to the Highway and Transportation Committee, but I guess that hearing has not yet been scheduled. That's just cleaning up some language, still keeping height and weight recommendations that are current in the law. So it's just making it a little bit, I guess, easier to read. I got that right, Kara?
Yeah, I mean, keeps the age and weight requirements. They don't have a height right now, but
yes,
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. And then SB 150, revising the CPS laws to sort of make it in line with, I think, 38 other states. This one does change the height, weight, and age requirements for child safety seats, and puts 13-year-olds or younger, or maybe it's under 13, so 12 and under, in the back seat of a vehicle. So hearing scheduled was initially on February 2nd, and we're just waiting to sort of figure out what's going to happen with that. I'm not 100% sure. You know any more than that, Kira? Okay. DUI task force updates. As far as the legislature goes, Kevin Dusko, who said he couldn't be here today, otherwise I would have him talk a little bit about it, sent out an email like, big things happening, keep you all posted, and then I never heard anything from him. So I have no idea what is happening as far as a lot of the DUI stuff is going. I was waiting to hear back from him, so I'll probably send him an email after this meeting and see if we can get some more information, and may send a video newsletter out to all of you. I'm not 100% sure. Also waiting to hear back a little bit for those of you that may have been around in one of the meetings. We talked about the dissolution of Home Safe Missoula, which I wasn't even aware existed until I got a phone call This was like the Safe Ride Home program that the Missoula Tavern Association was running as a nonprofit organization, where they would, I guess, provide money for bars and pubs to pay for a ride home for somebody who might be impaired. Obviously, with COVID, with the different bars and regulations with the bars, they hadn't been doing much of anything over the last couple of years anyway, so they are dissolving that nonprofit, and they had $20,000 in the bank. So they're going to give us the $20,000. We're just trying to figure out exactly how that's going to work by donating it to the health department, and then the DUI task force will be in charge of that money. Obviously, we got to use that money. I think for DUI task force type of stuff. So I think that makes the most sense. Any questions there? Okay, perfect. Probably one of the biggest things that we're going to be dealing with moving forward is going to be the legalization of marijuana. This is something, obviously, I'm looking at the messaging for. We'll probably want to form some sort of committee that we can maybe look and talk about this. I imagine, Leah, you're going to be a big part of that as well. I put a couple links on the agenda. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at some of this stuff, but I thought they were very interesting ways of talking about marijuana and driving high. So the first one, Barely High campaign from Canada. Really interesting. If you haven't had a chance to watch those, click on those links and watch those. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, or NHTSA, has a cheetah one out. Thought that was a little strange. And then Colorado has their program for driving high. And we'll continue to look at some of this stuff. I'll probably be looking for some information if anybody has specific information on this to throw into the blog, and all of that stuff. Any other thoughts on local messaging as far as getting this stuff out, or does somebody know of a messaging program or style that I'm not aware of yet?
Steve, I think you may have been part of this training, but I know that the Center for Health and Safety Culture collaborated with, I don't know if it was Idaho or Colorado, on, having both, police officer or highway patrol officer, as well as, an owner of a pot shop, talking about the importance of making sure you're not driving. Both of them seeing it as, hey, we want to make sure everyone's being safe. And I liked that messaging because it really kind of, may have spoken to more people than just maybe a cop saying, don't do that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really important. And I wouldn't be surprised, and I think we had talked about this in a previous meeting, that similar to how they have the responsible alcohol sales and service training for bartenders and anybody that's selling alcohol, wouldn't be surprised if the Department of Revenue, through that program, maybe the same guy, Kent, who's in charge of that, may come up with, like, I don't know what responsible pot sales and service. I'm not sure, what they would do there, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like that is coming. But I definitely plan on reaching out and doing some collaborative videos. I've been sort of hesitant of going out into the community. Obviously, with COVID, I don't want to get in front of people. I don't want to offend somebody by going, hey, let's do this video. And they're like, I don't want to be around you. So I haven't been doing anything that I've had planned as far as that stuff goes. But yes, I think that's a great idea, because coming from the people that are working in that industry, to be able to say it, I think means a little bit more. So I think that's a phenomenal idea. Excellent. Any other thoughts on that? Heidi, have you seen anything in the media world?
No, we haven't really seen anything, but I think it is a good place to start, is to just scour the internet and find other resources like this Canadian one. I think humor kind of always brings down some walls. It's not funny topic, but sometimes that's a good way to kind of bring down people's walls and get them to respond, or at least to think about it.
Yeah, and I know NHTSA has been doing. There's one, I didn't put a link to it here, but there are some Too High to Drive commercials that I've seen on TV recently, where a guy and his girlfriend or wife or whatever are sitting in their apartment, and he's gonna like try to cut up a pineapple, and he envisions himself doing so, and bad things happen. And he's like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm too high. And she goes, well, why don't you go get pizza or food or something like that? And she throws her keys at him, and he like puts his hand up and like misses the keys. And he goes, nope, bad idea. I'm still too high. Let's call in and order food or whatever. So they try to make a little bit of humor with it. I think I agree with you on that. Especially with the whole Center for Health and Safety culture. You've heard me say it many a time, the whole psychological reactance and moral disengagement aspect of things. I think that's really important. So, yeah, if you happen to see anything or something comes, your way, you mind sending it to us, Heidi? That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Leah, likewise, if you find something unique, and you're always really good at being like, hey, Steve, check this out. So,
well, and I think that we could probably collaborate when we have some funding, to do some outreach. So I think we could probably collaborate with MUSAP and the DUI task force.
Yeah, and I think that money that's going to come over from the Home Safe Missoula thing, I could probably utilize that for all of this. So maybe we can put together something pretty creative and quite local, I hope. So it resonates with people here. So that'd be great. Sound good? Any other thoughts or questions or ideas?
Steve, I was just thinking on the Home Safe funds. One of the things I think is really effective are billboards, and we haven't had many of those up because they reach so many people and they're literally right in your face. The one I'm thinking of is going out tonight. We are with all the officers, but I just think those people need those reminders. You have to keep them. So I don't know if that is something people that you could consider with those funds or whatever. And I do agree that using humor, especially for the legalization issue, is a good way to reach people who are high, and that would kind of tie into their mentality perhaps. So
yeah, that's a good idea, and definitely something I think we should consider. And I know one of the big aspects of messaging that I'm really interested in exploring on how do we get this out. A lot of people understand, and we think, and probably have one around here someplace, is, like how many drinks an hour the body metabolizes. And Leah, I don't remember who the guy was that spoke last week in your group meeting. But how long after you use marijuana are you safe to drive? And, and I know there's so many different aspects of whether, how was it consumed? Was it edible? Did you smoke it? What was the concentration of it? And I guess alcohol is kind of the same way, right? You got hard alcohol, you got beer, you got wine, so different quantities of it, different proofs of alcohol, and all of that stuff. So how do we get that idea out that, 3 to 4 hours after smoking a joint, you might be safe to drive, but we don't know.
I was just looking around on the internet while we're talking, and there's one out of, I think, California. It says, don't drive high on marijuana, even if you're being chased by an ex-murderer. What? Yeah, interesting. So
That's
anyway,
great.
but yeah.
Judge Holloway or Samantha, have you two had anything through like the court systems on how you are addressing or maybe addressing the drive high issue?
The short answer is no. I think that, in law enforcement is better apt to speak at this, is that, that the polysubstance abuse of people driving in alcohol and drugs, and just that we have this number of 5 nanograms in your blood alcohol content or in your body, and it's really hard to test for that at times. I think we are beginning to see an increase in DUIs from THC. I agree that there needs to be more messaging, because I don't think people think that they can get a DUI when they're driving a car. And so we talk about, should it be law enforcement, should it be the courts, or where is the education coming from? And I do like the humor aspect of things. It might even be interesting to bring in the school resource officers and find out what's happening in the schools. So we need more messaging about it. So yes, I support that.
Well, and I wonder with the whole testing for nanograms aspect of things, and maybe you know a little bit more about this. Back, nearly a decade ago, when I was in jail as a juvenile detention officer, and we would test kids that came in. We had one particular kid that had to get below a certain nanogram level before they could be released, and we were testing him for the first week every single day and sending off urine samples, and he was still so far above the levels. I think Judge Larson said it was the highest nanogram level he's ever seen in any sample ever. We finally, the second and third week, were testing him every other day just because his samples were still so high. So 2 and 3 weeks into it, he was still testing positive for THC in his urine samples that were sent off to the lab. Yet he obviously hadn't had anything while in jail over that time period. So I don't know, like, he could have been pulled over and had a DUI, even though he wasn't impaired in, a week after he'd been in jail. So I don't know how that works.
It doesn't seem to work well, does it? Sergeant Fow would be able to better answer those questions with regards to the nanograms and the DUIs. But I think the key that you just hit on is the impairment piece.
Yeah. Sergeant Fow?
Yeah, so there with the the marijuana, there is an active metabolite, and that's going to be tested and show that you're high. That would correlate with impairment. Then there's a metabolite that will show up in your body for up to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. So that's what you guys were seeing. If he was incarcerated and didn't have access to any more marijuana, then that metabolite was residual in his body that hadn't been expelled yet. Okay. over the process of time. So you can't get a DUI unless you display impairment. And then as far as testing goes, we're testing blood. If the impairment doesn't appear to be from alcohol, then we'll request a blood test, but often we'll request a blood test even if we do suspect alcohol. We try to go to the jail for the intoxilizer. That's a breath test. That would be for alcohol. But if it's some other drug, something else causing the impairment, we'll do a PBT roadside to eliminate if it was alcohol, and then we would go seek blood. So implied consent says we can request a test for breath or blood, and that's what the process is. But as far as the active and metabolite, that's what you're talking about. You'll get a couple different, when we get crime lab samples back, toxicology samples, it'll have the active nanograms, and then it'll have the metabolite, which is commonly higher, or this residual that lasts longer.
Okay, perfect.
I think too, like there's the legal aspect of, like how many nanograms can you have in your system, but then there's also the aspect of like just educating people about like how long to wait. And similar, to, utilizing alcohol, like you should wait this long after you have an alcoholic beverage, like similar with marijuana, like just giving some clear guidelines about like, hey, you should probably wait 5 hours. Like this is, it's, for everybody, it does metabolize, differently. We have different bodies. It depends on other factors. You don't want to mix alcohol or, with the marijuana because they compound each other. But in general, like giving kind of a, wait, and it says anywhere from like 3 to 6 hours, but, in terms of like doing outreach and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to be an important process in all of this stuff. So is helping people understand that, because yeah, it sounds so confusing. So thanks for all your input, everybody. I really appreciate that. And as we go forward, like I'll sort of skip this next thing here, talking about the blog. So like Sergeant Fowl, if you could write something up like in a blog format that could, put that information together, I would love to be able to share that on the blog. And then naturally, everybody else share that blog post on your social media. That would be great to help spread that information out and about. If that's something that we could do, that would be great.
I'll take a look at it, Steve. I'm working next week. I'll see if I can get a hold of someone. The best resource for that, so it's technically accurate, would be the crime lab. They have experts that test the substances and can explain it. I'll see if they have something that we could put out. And then we have our Doug Samuelson is the sergeant and that is in charge of the DUI DRE programs and all that sort of stuff. So I'll see if we can find something.
Excellent. Yeah, that would be super helpful. And heck, even if we could hop on and do like a Zoom interview where, one of us can ask him a few questions and record that and put that out as a vlog aspect of things. That would be spectacular as well. And of course, I think Leah just sent me a link to another website. If you find something that the other states like Washington or Colorado or something like that are doing, I have no issue whatsoever just sharing that post on the blog so other people can see it, and then we can share that information out and about without us having to reinvent the wheel. So that would be awesome. All right. Any other thoughts, ideas, comments?
Steve, I just have a comment about, I think, especially with the marijuana, it's really important to reach the kids, the high school kids. And I don't know if we could get somebody from the school system to join our board, or if we need to keep our message in front of those high school kids, I think.
Yeah, no, that's definitely part of my plan, and that'll be coming up here a little bit later in the meeting when I talk about the safe driving course that I'm building to get that message in front of kids for sure.
I think, yeah, that's a really good point, Virginia, because I feel like in general, kids are not drinking and driving as much because they've gotten that messaging that it's not a good idea, but they may not know about marijuana.
Right.
Do you remember off the top of your head, Leah, some of the MPNA data that you shared with us related to marijuana usage?
Oh, no. Yes, sorry. Do you want marijuana usage? I don't have marijuana usage in driving.
Okay.
But I just, marijuana usage in Missoula County is, I think, around 20%. Let me go look it up real quick and get the exact. And
all right.
Then, yeah, because they just came out with the 2020 Montana Prevention Needs Assessment data. So I can look that up.
Yeah, because one of them, I think alcohol was actually going down a little bit. Is that right? I'm trying to remember off.
The alcohol-related driving is going down. Alcohol consumption in youth in Missoula and in Montana is going up.
Okay.
Up a
Yeah,
bit.
I wanted to go back and study that a little bit farther. I'm just trying to go off my memory of all the slides that you showed the other day. So, okay. yeah, let me know when you get that ready and we'll let you share that. So, so while she's looking that up, I appreciate it. So the Lifesavers Conference for 2021, I talked about this in the last couple of meetings. It is the largest traffic safety conference in the entire country. Typically, it requires you to travel to a location, spend 3 or 4 days there, travel, hotel room, all sorts of different things. Absolutely crazy, insane. It was canceled this last year in Tampa, Florida because of COVID. And we wouldn't want to go there anyway because of the Buccaneers. But this year it's online only, and registration fee is $275. So I have it approved where others can attend. So if you or somebody else would like to attend, and it's virtual, so you don't have to go anywhere, it's April 26th, 27th, and 28th. There are a lot of different like major speakers, a lot of different workshops related to whether it be car seat safety, impaired driving, road safety, whatever the case may be, all about traffic safety. This is the place to go and learn about it. So if you are interested in going, I could cover that cost of the $275. I'll probably be looking for some people to maybe, if I, have a group of people that are interested in going, divvying up some of the different workshops, because naturally, if I'm the only one going, I can't be in every workshop at every single time. And some of the workshops are, I want to be in 2 or 3 different workshops that all happen on, Tuesday at 11, and I can't be in all 3 of them at the same time. So if there's something specific of interest to you that you would like to attend, I would love to have more eyes and ears out there so we can bring this information back to Missoula. I think somebody up in Kalispell has like up to 10 people going. So if you are interested, shoot me an email letting me know that you're interested. And I put the link on there to the website so you could look through, take your own time, look through the conference, check out the different workshops, look at the different speakers, see if there's anything that's going to be of value to you and your organization. And then if you'd like to go, like I said, shoot me an email. That'd be great. Leah posted in the chat box there, 19.5% Missoula County 8th, 10th, and 12th graders combined have used marijuana in the past 30 days. Wow, that's amazing.
And it's definitely, we have more students using marijuana in Missoula than the rest of the state, for sure.
Yeah. So it'll really be interesting once legalization happens to see what those numbers do. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us there, Leah. Appreciate it. I'll probably be creating some form of blog post as it relates to that MPNA stuff here soon, unless you want to help out with that.
Sure, I can help.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. I think I got one email already, so thank you so much. Any questions on Lifesavers Conference? I've never been. I don't know anything about it. I was excited to go last year, but then still got a plane ticket to nowhere. Okay. Has anybody been on the Drive Safe Missoula website lately? Probably not. No. DriveSafeMissoula.com. Now that it's been up and running since, what has it been, June or July, I think, when it first went live. If you get a chance, could you hop on there and look around and check out, things like the DUI task force, the Buckle Up Montana pages, car seat safety. I haven't done a single thing with the responsible alcohol sales and service at all, mainly because of COVID. And the blog section. could you hop on there and, you know, maybe just take a few moments, look around, like, you know, shoot me back an email like, hey, Schmitty, on this page, looks kind of goofy on my phone, looks great on desktop or something like that. If you have a moment, that would be great. I'm just trying to get this, you know, to be as good as possible. And I'm always trying to, you know, revise and make sure everything's updated. You know, I go in there about every day or every other day on the main homepage and update the stats for, you know, crash fatalities in Montana. So I'm always trying to keep that up to date and current. And then the blog, if there's anything in there that you see on the blog, let me actually share my screen on this one, because I just want to show you how easy it is. I'm going to pull it up here real quick. So something that will help to really get this out and about is if you can share the blog post. Are you guys seeing the Drive Safe Missoula website? Okay. So up here in the upper right-hand corner is blog. And you'll notice up here, it's really simple, drivesafemissoula.com/blog. Dodd was the last one to give me something. So thanks for writing that up, Dodd, and sending that out to me. I really appreciate that, about slowing down and moving over. You see these three little dots right here? If you just click on those, you can share the post to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or you can copy the link and share it someplace else. This helps tremendously for a couple of different things. One, I report the analytics of the website, usage and sharing posts and all of that stuff, and all of my state reporting. And the more that we can get this stuff out there, the more that it helps us in general with funding and all sorts of different things. Additionally, when you share it from here and you share that post onto your Facebook page, what it does is, let's see if this is going to pop up. It'll put in here drivesafemissoula.com. So when somebody wants to read this, they click on this and it takes them back to the website, which that's where I can really harvest the analytics from. Yeah, I can get them a little bit off of Facebook, and I do try to report those too. But by sharing it and driving people back to the website, hopefully that's going to get people, when they click on this, and it brings them to the website. Let me leave that, get out of that. So when they click on this particular story, they'll be at their website and they might see something. Oh, hey, look, they do something with child passenger safety. What's that about? Oh, hey, I need my car seat checked, or whatever the case may be. So that really helps if you can get this information on your Facebook pages. So if you see anything on there, if you could share it. And then what I typically try to do at the end of every blog post, especially if somebody else writes that blog post for me, is if I put information about you and your organization. So hopefully that will drive people to you as well. And if you write that blog post and 15 other people share it, then that's getting out to 15 more social media groups than before. And so then when it comes time for somebody else to write that blog post, and you do them a favor by sharing their post on your social media, maybe you're going to help one of your family, friends, or clients, or somebody like that reach them, if that makes sense. So we're sort of helping each other out in that process. So, and Kira said, yes, we do need to get that winter coats one. That was one I had on my list to do. So yes, we definitely need to do that one. So perfect. Any questions? Okay, gotta get my agenda back up on my screen here. Then of course, naturally, right at the top, or on the main homepage, if you scroll down, you'll see partners. On that, if you click on that, everybody's logo should be on there. That's a part of either the DUI task force or Buckle Up Montana. If you could double check to make sure those are correct, that those are linked back to your websites. And if you could provide me with a little quote at the top, if you haven't done so already, I would appreciate that. Any questions there on the website? Okay, I really appreciate everybody that's been supplying me with that information, those blogs. Hopefully you're seeing some, I can't get the analytics on people that sort of click out and go to your website or your webpage or whatever. But hopefully you're seeing some sort of feedback from those when you write and everybody shares those posts. So thank you very much. And I think pretty much in this day and age, we're not holding events. We're not going out there and spending, 2 or 3 hours in the mall chatting with people. This is a way we can help all of us get our word out across the board. If you could do that, that's great. Last thing here, and I think I'll let you go unless somebody has anything else, and we'll try to get out of here, like I said, a little bit early. Is I would like to get, if I could maybe get a couple of volunteers, I'm talking like 2 or 3 people. I don't want to do it in a really big group setting because it's going to maybe take a lot of time, but maybe 2 or 3 people to help me sort of go over the Young Drivers in Control course as I put these videos together, that we can sit there and look at it and talk about it and see what's working, what's not working, why it's working, why it's not working, all of that stuff. I would really appreciate that. So I have one video done and it's about 11 minutes long. It's a little bit longer than I would like it to be, but I would love for us to get together and maybe look at those videos and go, hey, yeah, this is great. Oh, I liked how you said that. I saw Kevy, did you say that you would do that? Awesome. Anybody else might be able to help out with that? Leah? And I'm not looking to take up a lot of extra time, Sergeant Fowl. Okay, Samantha.
You're just wanting feedback on your video and see about the messaging?
Yeah, basically just to see if it's working, because these things take absolutely forever to make. I mean, my one 11-minute video took weeks to get done. And part of that is I have a meeting or I have a report that I got to get done or there's something else happening. And, at least I'm doing everything from home and I have everything set up here in my video studio, so to speak. But I'm trying to do as little of, actually, I don't have any video yet of me in front of the camera talking to the students. I have my voice on there, but I'm doing something a little bit different that I've never done before as far as the coursework goes. But
I'll help you out.
Okay, perfect. So what I'll
and then I'll
probably
twist
try.
Sam's arm.
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Like I said, I probably won't take up too much of everybody's time, but I'll probably get to, maybe we'll come together for a quick half-hour meeting sometime. I'll show you what the video looks like, maybe get your feedback real quick, because if there's a time to change it, it's early on in the process. And that way I can also tell you a little bit about like where I'm trying to go. Maybe we can work on it as a small group. Then I can bring it back to the entire group and go, hey, look, this is what we came up with, or this is what it was. This is where we're at now. What do you think? And then where do I go from here? Like, who do you recommend I go and talk to about, this or that? So that would be helpful. And what I'll probably do, I'll probably like to set up a meeting maybe next week with everybody. If we can find a time to get together, I'll send out an email and like I said, maybe half hour, 45 minutes at the most. Just look at this one video that I have already. I might have the second one done by then, and we'll call it good. I will probably be taking a considerable amount of time off this next month. My wife is scheduled for hip replacement surgery, and it's probably not going to be an easy recovery process. So I may be off for 2 or 3 weeks. For those of you that don't know, she uses a wheelchair. So it's not like, recovery process for any one of us might be where, we're supposed to get up and move around and all that stuff where she can't really do that. So it's going to be interesting. So I might be off for a little bit of time with that. So that only delays things a little bit further, but this is all paid for by State Farm. So something that we got to get done. But it's going to take a while. It's a slow process. Any questions? Okay. I did send the video to my wife, who is my biggest critic on all of this stuff on videos, and she actually gave it a thumbs up the first time, which I was prepared for the exact opposite. And she goes, I like it. And so I was really quite surprised, especially since it was a new way of doing it for me. So, okay, perfect. With that, I think we're done. Unless anybody has anything they'd like to add, something coming up in your organization. No? Okay. All right then, folks. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You're super helpful, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Good one. Bye.
Stay safe,
Bye.
everybody.
Thanks, Steve.
You bet.